So today I'm gonna show y'all how to make hard Detroit and Flint style beats from scratch. Let's go. So the first thing I started off with was this piano right here. Now, I ain't gonna lie, I don't remember how I made this. Sometimes I'll really just be like clicking stuff in and just hoping for the best, because sometimes I feel like if you don't know where to go with your music, if you try to sit there and think of the most perfect idea, like you'll literally get nowhere. But if you just kind of like click in some stuff and you start adjusting, you're able to get something cooler way quicker. And that's literally what I did for this. I just put down the little C note right here. That was really loud. And then I just kind of like started clicking in other notes, like this one right here, this one right here, this one right here. And I was like, you know what? Melody kind of hard. You know what I mean? So sometimes you can just kind of click in stuff and just, you know what I mean, make it try to work. And then on the second half, I did this little pattern right here, just so we had a little bit of variation and just to make sure that things don't get boring. And then for the effects, all I put on was Valhalla Vintage Verb. I turned up the low cut and I turned down the mix to 22.8%. Then I went into Analog Lab. I got this preset right here and I just laid down this chord just to make everything feel a little bit more full, put a little bit of things in the background, you know what I mean? Just to add a little bit more depth to the loop. And then for the pad, I actually used no effects. I just turned it down in the mix a little bit and that's it. And now that we have these two elements put together, everything sounds pretty full already. Now my main objective was to really just add things to make it sound different and unique, because those two elements by themselves could actually just be a loop on its own. So since I did want to add something kind of unique, I went into Omnisphere and I got this ARP from HZE, the Dark Circles Bang. And I basically just took the same melody pattern from the piano and I just put it over into the ARP, and this is what it sounds like. Now, I really liked adding an ARP into this melody right here because I felt like it added so much movement. Like with the piano, we already had like a good amount of movement, but I felt like this just made it way more bouncy. And then once again, no effects on this. All I did was just pan it to the right a little bit and turn it down. Then I went into the Distant Voices bank in Arcade and I got the Ancient Message preset. And I put down these vocals right here. Wow, surprise, surprise. No effects on this one either. It's just an EQ taking out some of the frequencies that I didn't really particularly care for. And then just to create a little bit of impact, I put this stab right here. And this is in the Infinite Go-To drum kit, by the way. So if you ever wanted to use this sound, now you know where to find it. And then all I did for this sound right here is I went to the wrench knob and I turned up the feed knob. All this does is basically just add a little bit of delay to the sound. Then after that, I put some reverb on it. As you can see, I turned up that wet knob a lot just because I wanted it to sound like it was just drenched in reverb. And mostly with all my reverbs, I do turn up the low cut knob a little bit. If you do use too much reverb, it can get muddy very, very quick. So a way to circumvent that is to use that low cut knob and just make sure that you're not getting the low end frequencies from that reverb. And then I went into the BBC Orchestra VST and I put in these spiccato strings. If you know, you know, but this VST was in my free VSTs video. And I truly stand by what I said, that this is probably one of the best free string VSTs that you can find. Now, in hindsight, I probably could have chilled out on the reverb and delay, but I mean, we're already here, you feel me? Now it's time to go over the drums. So the first thing I started off with was this snare right here. Side note, the snare is from Durkey's drum kit. So if you actually see my thumbnails, Durkey's actually the one who does like all of my thumbnails now. So shout out to bro for having a fire drum kit as well. Then I got this hi-hat out the Infinite Go-To drum kit. And I put in a two-step hi-hat pattern. Now, pretty boring and pretty typical, but if you look into a lot of Detroit and Flint music, the two-step hi-hat pattern is just undefeated. Like, it's used so often, so much to the point where it feels like you kind of need to do it when you're making beats for them. Then I got this open hat right here, and I put in this pattern. Then I got this laser right here, and I put in these two patterns. And the cool thing about the lasers in this beat is I actually did like a little combo with the rim shot. Then after that, I got this perk out of one of Exclusive's drum kits. Then after that, I got the boosted spins out of my drum kit, and I put down this pattern right here. So as you can see, I took a different approach with these 808s. Normally, I would make my 808s more busy. I would do something like boom, boom, and maybe like a boom and a whoop-de-whoop and everything like that. But this time, I decided to make it a little bit more simplistic and have like a lot more space within my 808s as well. And with this 808, there's actually no effects on it. The only thing I actually did to it was go over to the pre-computed effects, and I took this boost knob up by 2%. Remember, with the boost knob, a little goes a long way. Then after that, I just put in a couple sound effects. Oh, and side note really quick, this tubular bell is actually the purity one, the digi tubular preset in the bell and perk section. So with that being said, that actually completes everything that I did in the beat. I will play it for y'all right now, so if you like it, let me know. And also, if you like the video, throw a like on it. If you want to comment, throw a comment. If you want to sub, hit the sub. And if you want to know how to make hard Detroit and Flint style beats like 42 Doug, click this video right here.